You know, he played a character that was part of every person's childhood. If you grew up in the '70s, almost into the '80s, big star in Match Game, a very very cerebral guy, artist, literary guy. Gary Burghoff is much more than MASH. We're going to talk about his great influence on that show and the generation, but also talk about his many off Broadway, what do you call efforts, and his guest starring roles because he's pretty well been retired since the late 1970s, excuse me, the 1990s. But I mean, everybody knows his name is a household name, whether you call him Radar or not. Gary Burghoff was a rich guy, literally. His middle name was Rich. Now, Gary Burghoff was born May 24th, 43, in Bristol, Connecticut, beautiful community. Is an American actor who is known for originating the role of Charlie Brown in the 1967 off-Broadway musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and the character Corporal Walter Eugene Radar O'Reilly in the film MASH by Robert Altman, as well as the TV series. He was a regular on the TV game show Match Game from 74 to 79 for 204 episodes, which was almost a full year, standing in mostly for Charles Nelson Riley, who was usually in New York doing a Broadway play, and continuing to make recurring appearances afterwards. Born in Bristol, he moved to Clinton, Connecticut, and then later moved to Delavan, Wisconsin. He eventually studied tap and became a drummer, despite being born with brachydactyly caused by Poland syndrome, which made three fingers in his left hand significantly smaller than those in his right hand. And of course, his drumming was featured in the MASH TV series on numerous occasions. He gained early experience acting with the Belfry Players of Williams Bay, Wisconsin. He received his acting training at the HB studio in New York. Now, at 67, he portrayed Charlie Brown in the original off-Broadway production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown to high acclaim. Now, he was also the drummer for a band called The Relatives in '68, backing of all people Linda Carter, because she was the band singer. The group opened at a Sarah Hotel and Casino Lounge in Las Vegas and played there for 3 months. He and Linda became fast friends and remained so, and much later they appeared together in an episode of her hit series The New Adventures of Wonder Woman, the '78 episode The Man Who Wouldn't Tell. Now, Burghoff made his feature film debut in Robert Altman's MASH in 1970. Although several actors from the original film made guest appearances in the TV series MASH, Burghoff was the only actor to continue as a full-time regular in the role of course, Radar. Although he played the same character in the series as in the film, there was massive differences in the portrayal. In the original MASH, I created Radar as a lone, darker, and somewhat sardonic character, kind of a shadowy figure. I continued these qualities for a short time until I realized that the TV MASH characters were developing in a different direction from the film's characters. Now, they made Radar sort of like, not say a child, but childish, and is kind of made to grown up by his experience at MASH. Now, it eventually became a group of sophisticated, highly educated doctors and one head nurse who would rather be anywhere else and who understood the nature of the hellhole they were stuck in. With Larry Gelbart's help, I began to mold Radar into a more innocent, naive character, as contrast to the other characters, so that while the others may deplore the immorality and shame of the war from an intellectual and judgmental viewpoint, Radar could just react from a position of total innocence. You see this by season 2 or season 3. Big animal lover and basically very helpful. Kind to the Koreans, kind to the wounded, because Radar is sort of the brains of the outfit. And of course, his wait for it is, he could sense the helicopters coming, so he had kind of extrasensory perception. He was nominated for 6 Emmys for MASH and for Outstanding Supporting Actor Comedy Series for Radar. And of those nominations, he won an Emmy in '77. Burghoff's co-star Alan Alda, who was a director and writer also of the series, accepted an award on his behalf. Now, Burghoff left MASH in '79 after 7 seasons because of burnout and a desire to spend more time with his family, though he returned the following season to film a special 2-part farewell episode, Goodbye Radar. He explained, "Family to me became the most important thing. I was not available as a father because of my work. That doesn't stop me when the work stops. Whenever you go out as a family, you always turn from family to deal with public recognition." Now, Goodbye Radar was supposed to be the final episode of season 7, but at the behest of CBS, it was extended to a double episode for the November sweeps the next year. Fellow cast member Mike Farrell tried to persuade Burghoff to stay on the show, citing the lackluster careers of former MASH regulars Larry Linville and McLean Stevenson after their departures, but he did not take that advice. Farrell later said, Gary Burghoff may well have been the best actor in the company. It always seemed to me. His focus, his ability to find those little gems of behavior that made everything absolutely true or a marvel to behold. But of course, he had, towards the end of having the burnout, he had off and on set issues with some of the cast, and basically became kind of, not say bitter, but frustrated because the character wasn't advancing. But a 2-part episode where he pretty well falls in instant love with that young nurse and has to leave her behind, on the way back, and a lot to deal with. And the famous line at the end, "Let's go." Now Burghoff appeared regularly on TV, making appearances on such game shows as Match Game, Tattletales, Liars Club, Hollywood Squares, and Show Offs. He also appeared in the film "B.S. I Love You," as well as one episode each of The Love Boat and Ellery Queen. His MASH character, Radar O'Reilly, appeared in 2 episodes in the first season of After MASH. It was then spun off into Walter, which aired only once in Eastern and Central time zones. You were trying to make Radar as naive as it was in the show, and it didn't work. Having his wife leave him and all that. Now, in the 80s, Burghoff was a TV spokesperson for numerous products, including BP gasoline and IBM computers. In 2000, he was a spokesperson for a ./com air auction aggregation site, PriceRadar.com. Now, Burghoff is a self-taught amateur wildlife painter and also qualified to handle injured wildlife in California. Now, when he worked as a professional jazz drummer, heading the trio The We Three in the MASH episode Showtime, Radar is seen playing a solo on the drums. He was actually performing, and the music was not overdubbed. He can also be seen playing drums in the MASH episode Bulletin Board, in the picnic scene, the episode Dear Dad Again, and the No Talent Show scene. Now, Burghoff is also an inventor. U.S. Patent 5117577 of Chum Magic, a fishing tackle invention that attracts fish towards the user's boat. Other Burghoff's inventions include a toilet seat lifting handle and a new type of fishing pole. Now, Burghoff is a philatelist. He was asked in 1993 to help select a postal stamp for United States hunters. A stamp fan. Now, Burghoff did come out of retirement in 2010 to star in the film Daniel's Lot. Now, married to Janet Gale from 71 to 79, they have 1 daughter. He also married Elizabeth Bostrom in 1985. The couple have 2 sons and divorced in 2005. Now, of course, he was very proud of his book in 2009 called To Mash and Back, My Life in Poems and Songs, presented by Albany Beer Manor Media. So, again, film performances, B.S. I Love You, Twigs, The Man in the Santa Claus Suit, Casino, not the Scorsese movie, Doubles, Small Kill, Beyond the Waterfall, and Daniel's Lot. On television, Net Playhouse, The Good Guys, The Name of the Game, 174 episodes of MASH from 72 to 79, 2 episodes of Love American Style, episodes of Insight, episodes of Match Game, recurring numerous times from 75 to 81, and of course Nighttime and Daytime. Ellery Queen, The Love Boat, America Tonight, Fantasy Island, Richard C. Delaney when he played as a pitcher in a fantasy against Major League Baseball players, including Tommy Sorter, and Ellis Valentine. He had that Ephus pitch. New Adventures of Wonder Woman, Sweepstakes, very underrated series. Fantasy Island again, The Love Boat again, Tales of the Unexpected, After MASH, Walter, Carnival of the Animals, and of course Burke's Law, and a very interesting episode, Who Killed the Hollywood Head Shrinkers. Too bad he never performed on Murder, She Wrote. He would have been perfect as a young writer being framed or something. Now, how would MASH have been as good as it was without Gary Burghoff? No. He was the everyman on the show and in the movie. But there are scenes in MASH that... But I think the saddest scene where he had the confrontation when with Hawkeye walking out on surgery on him, and basically he looked up to Hawkeye and you call him a ninny, and the whole camp turned against Hawkeye for calling him a ninny. But ladies and gentlemen, there's early episodes of MASH cannot be compared to later episodes of Radar. It's almost like a rejig of the character. And he had some really good scenes with Frank Burns, dealing with him and chasing Mary Kay Place in that famous episode. I've been, when he was trying to learn different things to impress the very cerebral nurse, and he was trying to, Hot Lips and Frank Burns were trying to cockblock him, if that's even possible. But the first 2 seasons, again, it was a different ball game because, the McLean Stevenson, the famous salute, come back, I'll kick your butt, when he has to say, Blake had died. One of the most tragic scenes of all time. And I don't know if he had any conversation with Sidney Friedman, because it seemed, Covitas, where the person thought he was Jesus Christ. And he asks, I'm getting a little bit tearful here. The teddy bear meant a lot to people, because radar meant a lot to him. The teddy bear was sort of like a loss of innocence. When he left go. But when the guy thought he was Jesus, bless the teddy bear, bless you, radar. He said my name was Walter. Brings thoughts of the 70s back in a positive way, because we all know where we were usually Sunday nights in Canada, because MASH was the key. Sometimes Hardy's too, but So Gary Burghoff, one of the best character actors of all time. He only played one character. We played it to the fullest. If you're a Gary Burghoff fan, let us know why with a comment, and don't forget, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share.